Welcome to Just Saying, episode 9. There are only 3 more episodes until the end of RSC Season 3, which is a staggering thought since it seemed so long until the season would start, and here we are coming to the end of it. So, Bromeo, hello, but let's quickly go and say hello to our guest tonight, Shadow's General Manager, Muchuk. How's it going, Mats? Mats,
hello.
Mats. Oh, this is good. Everything's been working fine.
and now we do not have our resident Mats. Okay, that's fantastic.
Well, while we sort that out, how are you, Bromeo? Romeo? Don't tell me I've lost Bromeo now.
No, I'm here. Just weird things are happening with this Discord. Make no mistake. But yeah. I am here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not mutzing.
Thanks goodness. All right. Mats, are you here?
Yeah, now I can hear you guys again.
Oh, good,
hey.
Good. So all you missed was me saying, Mats, how are you?
Doing good.
Excellent.
Looking forward to this.
I think he didn't respond the first time because you didn't address him by his proper title. Yes, he is the GM of Shadow Esports, but he also is pretty much the GM of, RSC itself. So we must always put respect on that name.
So, well, let's start further afield. How are things going in RSC EU?
Looking good. We have started our playoff weeks. So 2 TSF gone already have finished.
Okay.
We have a prospect champion with Shadow Esports.
Hey.
And the challenger champion with Azteca Esports.
Okay, so Challenger, for those of you who don't know, is a sneaky little tier that they have that we don't, and that sits in between Prospect and Rival.
Yes.
Sorry, say that. Is that Challenger?
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
So how many players do we need to sneak in a Challenger tier?
Probably 4 times as much. No, not really. Nah, but for us with 20 franchises, we are always looking at around 800 signups.
Okay. All right. So in 10 franchises time, there or thereabouts, we can sneak in a few extra tiers. All right. Well, to get things started for tonight, there's a couple of things I wanted to talk. So this is 3 more episodes because there are 2 more weeks of league play plus playoffs, and then the podcast after each of those. And so there must be 4, including this one then, right?
No, this is week 8 that we're going into now. We've got week 9 next week, and then we've got playoffs yes. week after. So the 3rd and final podcast will be at the conclusion of playoffs, because remember, playoffs run from that Monday through to the Thursday, with a tier on each night. So by the time we get to the following Monday, it will be done and it will be dusted.
That'll be the 16th of November. But that will not be the end of Just Saying, because this podcast is going to transition into being the SSA Rocket League's podcast. So this is going to be the big thing for the future of all news and information on Rocket League in the region. I'm being told to turn up my microphone, so I'm going to do that.
That's a first, honestly.
That is a first. Are you sure your volume at home is up? Because that's one hell of a thing. But more news will follow on that, on how that's going to look, what it's going to look like, and what we're going to do with it. But so we will pretty much what we're doing for RSC, we are going to do for the entire region, and all of the various activities, whether it's VS, high schools, plus RSC when that comes around, everything going on Rocket League as it happens. So that's what's happened. Well, the planned future of this. And then I just wanted to mention the Mythic Challenge, which ended today. And a big shout out to everyone in the Rocket League community who participated in that, who contributed, who played games. And Call of Duty were the winners. So congratulations to them. They fought very, very hard. And I know there are a bunch of people who are a little disappointed with the result. But I want to say this is Call of Duty needed this a lot more than we do. Call of Duty get zero support from the publisher. Everything Call of Duty does in this region, they do themselves, just with the local community who love the game, love the title, and are keeping it alive. Rocket League, we are so incredibly fortunate. In fact, I think we're better placed than any other title in the region. We have a clear path to pro. We have the publisher who supports us, who gives very decent prize pools to the region. We're in very good shape. And on top of all of that, Champions Road will be returning. And that's probably going to have a prize pool of around 150 to 180,000 Rand. So we're going to be okay. Having said that, big up to everyone who was involved, and I think I'm speaking sooth there, Bromeo, in terms of, I mean, two things. One, I think the Rocket League community in this region is in better shape than it has ever been, and secondly, oh God, what was my other point? There was that point, and I forgot the second point. Over to you, Bromeo.
So let me preface my following statement by saying I am possibly one of the saltiest that we lost. It gives me no pleasure in losing to Call of Duty, how desperate or dire their needs are. I would have much preferred to eat the pizza than give it away. But that being said, I agree with you 100%. Our region is in great hands. I saw a great meme sent out by Altruism. I'm not sure if you saw it, Greybeard, but
with the guy giving the award to himself.
Yeah, I've got to find it. We've actually got to put that one up just to put things into perspective. But while Greybeard looks for it, I think this region, we have got so much to look forward to, and that little meme did more work for putting things into perspective for me than anything else, because we take for granted so many of these things that are going on. And what made me, even more humble, about all of it is how many of them were community generated and how many were created, basically led by the developer, because you've got RLCS, cool. But then you've got so many others which are straight from the community, and then it makes you realize what a good position we are in and how much Rocket League there is currently going on and to look forward to.
All right. Well, I did find it. Let's see if this all actually works. Yeah, there it is.
No, that isn't Alt's post. That isn't one. So go search Alt. Just go straight to his profile. It's probably the most liked thing he's posted in the last.
Oh, you're talking about the one with all the steps.
Yes.
Okay, I did see that. This one here.
This one right here. This one is everything. Okay.
That is actually exceptional.
It's a very well constructed meme by Alt. If we're very good at creating memes, and if we were as good at winning community challenges as we were at creating memes, we wouldn't be creating memes. So let's just be grateful for this work of art.
Oh gosh, that is very good. All right, well, that's it on that. And we have so much to look forward to, and based on things that are going on in the background, 2025 is going to be our best year ever. Big things happening in VS, big things happening in the high school scene. I'm sure ACGL will put on their land like they did this year. And then, of course, RLCS, which is going to include a 1v1. So much going on, so much to grind for. And I've had three local orgs reaching out to me saying that they want to have a Rocket League team next season, and how do they go about it? Where do they get information on players and teams? And so I think there is more local interest in Rocket League than there has ever been. So lots and lots to look forward to. And RSC, of course, is a huge part of that, and we will continue to drive it with our community efforts, because I think we're growing something incredibly special here. So Mats, as we transition over to RSC news, what's going on there? You're incredibly involved in EU. There's a lot going on. It's a much bigger league, and you've got a franchise here. So how on top of things are you in terms of what's going on in the RSC SSA League?
I've seen that there is quite close standings overall, especially in Master, as well as in Elite. It's a little bit more spaced out, especially at the bottom. Rival, I'm personally a little. I like that it's still close, because my team needs to get make up a few spots there.
But you've had a bit of a run over the last couple of weeks. I mean, the start, it was looking very rough, but you've had good results over the last 2 weeks that have kind of pushed Shadow up a little.
Yeah, I mean, we also threw kind of when we made a substitute, or in the beginning of the season, we made an error with the substitutions. So technically, we would be 2 wins higher, which would put us in a lot of better position. And also, another team that was late, we agreed to still play out the series, which we then lost. So technically, we have given away a few free wins that we may miss dearly, but I'm still confident that we can make up those few wins towards Bravo Force.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. That's what Mutt sounds like when he's coping. Well, speaking of things, let's get right into the results of last week and where things stand, because so this is where I struggle, because we're coming into the last 2 weeks, and all season long, Bromeo, we've been talking about, but it's close and there's still time for people to ding, and it's not over. But surely we're getting to the time now where that sort of are we at the point where it is impossible for teams to make playoffs, either directly or through play-ins?
So it's a very interesting point, because I know we were talking, just before stream on, who can make it in and who cannot, because that's what this is all about at the end of the day. This is a league, and everybody plays everybody, and at the end of it, the top 6 manage to duke it out for the glory, and there are going to be 4 teams that are going to sit on the sidelines for the last episode of Just Saying for RSC. So, starting off with Prospect, things are looking pretty dire for the Trollers. My team at the bottom. We pulled off another good draw against a Mega Force. They're currently in 4th. But draws aren't going to get you anywhere, because it's just equal points. They go up, you go up. So feasibly, we are 5 points shy of 6th spot. So even if we pull off 2 wins off this last, part of the season, us getting to that 6th spot is pretty low. It's still mathematically possible, but I wouldn't, bet my house on it. So Crusaders are also in the same boat. They drew against Redirect Accelerate this last week, and we saw a sweep by Cubs on DSQ Kasia, which is huge, by the way, because DSQ is in 3rd, Cubs are in 2nd. So if there's a team to watch out for going into playoffs, it is Cubs, because they have been quiet for the entire season, because we've been talking about Jokers, we've been talking about DSQ, but we haven't been talking about XP and the work that they've been putting in. They've just been putting in the quiet yards, but they are 5-1 and with 1 draw as well. So that is massive. So the only thing keeping DSQ ahead at that point was the fact that they had a better game difference with regards to draws.
And now Cubs are tied with the Jokers, who remain undefeated. And that's, on the one hand, impressive, but on the other hand, terrifying, because you feel like the loss has got to come at some point. I mean, completing an entire season undefeated it doesn't happen a lot. So it's like, and you don't want to be in the last 2 weeks losing.
No, and 100%. And so something worth mentioning is Swana from Unitox have been languishing but in that 7 to 10 position the whole season. And they put in a couple of good results, and now they're in 5th. So they are slowly pushing their way up the table. They are looking pretty good. I think that's 2 victories on the trot now for them. So they've pushed themselves into playoff contention. So it can change in a matter of 2 weeks. It truly can. But we're now at that point where you're running out of excuses, you're running out of time. So I would go so far as to say that there's 8 teams who still have a feasible shot at this, and that is Brotato and upwards.
And now, Mats, there's a factor here. You know, when the season starts, you're all full of optimism. I think about it like if you think about age groups. Teenagers are all full of optimism. You get into your 20s, all things in life are still possible. And then you get to my age and you realize the options have really narrowed down in terms of what's still available to you. And I don't know, like teams like Jokers, Cubs, Cassia, they're all excited, but there's an additional element of tension that comes playing those last 2 weeks, because there's a lot more on the line. If you lose your second week, you're like, there's still time, but you lose this one, there's tension.
There is big tension because there is also some teams that play against each other. Like we have seen, Swana has made a crucial win against Obscurity, going up to 5th place. But there is also a direct match between Brotato and Accelerate, which makes it probably the most crucial one in week 9, or one of the most crucial ones. There, Brotato also plays against Crusaders, so technically a relatively easy end of the season. So Brotato is still in a quite decent position with 1 win of 6th. While this also complicates matters a lot for Crusaders and Trollers making miracle runs, because either Accelerate or Brotato are gonna get at least 2 points. So
yeah, that is true. And Jokers have to play Trollers have to play Jokers, who are top of the log.
But I was just looking at that, Bromeo, because you guys have the chance to do something really, really, really nasty.
It could be fun. It could be a lot of fun. And we've made a couple of roster changes, and that has seen a turnaround in our fortunes. But it might be a little bit, too late. But I would love to see something wild happen just in the last little way, just to knock some of the top guys off their perch. It would be really enjoyable.
I don't know if the Dogman's in chat or not, but there's a lot more than just prospect on his shoulders. He's also that prospect team is also doing. It's pretty much the prospect team and the master team who are carrying the hopes and dreams of the dynasty franchise right now. Oh man. Okay. Well, that's so still a bit going on there, and big battles coming up here. The Jokers Trollers game terrifies me. Brotato are good. I mean, that's a good draw for them to play for Templar, and you would think that should be a match that they win, but There is always that but. And probably if they lose that one, if they lose it substantially either in a sweep or a 3-1, they've probably put themselves out of the running coming into the last week.
And I think this is what's important to note right now is we're looking at Jokers, Cubs, and Kasia as the top three vying for those last two spots. Omega Force would need to do something special, excuse me, to get themselves into that top two because they are currently 5 points shy of that second spot. And that means that they'd need two very good victories and Cubs would have to get nothing. In order for that. So it would be feasible to say the top two is currently being battled by Jokers, Cubs, and Kasia. And the 6th, 7th spot is where it's really getting hot. Is because Brotato, Accelerate, Obscurity, and Tswana are 2 points shy of each other.
Yeah.
So Tswana is going up against Cubs, who recently knocked the hell out of Kasia. Tswana's on the up. Cubs, they've been imperious for a while now. They've won 5 games. They've only drawn once. They've only lost once. So it's going to be a massive game there. That Tswana Cubs game is going to be huge, and that Omega Force Obscurity game is going to be huge because Shadow's entire season is hanging on that result as well.
And I don't know if there's anyone from Tswana and or Cubs in the chat, but that looks like a good game to have on stream. And there are still 2 stream slots available for Thursday. So somebody get in touch with me. Let's get that game on because that is probably one of the more important games of the week coming up.
I would be pretty excited to watch that, especially with Tswana's upcoming. They're 2 games on the trot now. They hadn't won a single game prior. So it's really been a reversal of fortunes for them. So they are the DSQ of Season 2. And surprisingly, on that team is Alex DeFatak. So he's writing his story once more.
Go, Alex. All right, let's move on to Rival and what's going on in this tier. And,
so it makes for immediately better reading because Jawlers are currently sitting in second. If we're having a look at their results quickly in the last week, so before we discuss the table settings, let's talk about how everybody did. This was another week of some interesting results. In Rival, we had, let's have a look here quickly. This is another one of those weeks where it was just draw after draw. We have Nightfall drawing against Vanguard, Momentum drawing against Viola, and of course Bravo Force drawing against Gelbvier. So
why is the Jax Climbers game listed there as 0-0?
That's an interesting one. They had a replay that didn't get passed, so that means that it is a technical issue, and we'll be dealing with it. It has been played. The result has been submitted.
Does the result stand?
The result will stand. It's a technical issue, so that's why it hasn't been forfeited at this point.
What are the chances we can have it not stand?
I'm assuming that Climbers game didn't go too well for you.
Asking for a friend, yeah. No. Shit. Okay. Well, it was a sweep.
They swept you.
Yeah, it was.
No wonder nobody wanted to upload that.
Yeah, everyone lost their replays.
You broke ball chasing because you got swept.
Yeah, exactly.
And I see that it's actually huge because Climbers, who are in 5th position, still below you, but with 4 points would propel them all the way until 2nd.
Holy moly! That means suddenly my team's fighting for their lives for play-ins.
So it could get spicy. You will need some of that magic coming in, but this is where it heats up. So let's assume Climbers grab all 4 of those points. That means that means they're in second, which means Viola's just tie with them.
Or third. Second or third. It depends on goal difference.
Oh, yes. So it depends on the result against Climbers. Against
Jawlers have such a huge goal difference. There's no
no. It would be the Climbers result against Jawlers, which was a draw, so it would be a goal difference thing in that game. So I can't tell you where they would sit, but just know that it would be second or third. All right. So you've got Jawlers, Climbers, and Viola, and that's on 18 points. And then there's Prolific on 16, and then there's you still on 15 because you didn't get any points in the last game, and you should be ashamed. And
Jesus,
it's okay.
This turned nasty. My word.
It's okay. I've been at the receiving end of a couple of sweeps this season. I am the kitchen floor. Yeah. So it's been a nice turnaround that I'm not the one being swept this week. So yeah, no, we're good. But this is where it's also important to note is that it's a lot more obvious who can make it through, and who can't. Vanguards are out.
Yes.
Based on their performance. No. Mathematically, they can be.
Mathematically,
they would need 8 points to unseat Bravo Force, unless they haven't played yet.
Vanguard, they play Jawlers next. Okay.
So Vanguard they have played Bravo Force and they got swept. So they would need 8 points and not 7. And that, for me, means that Vanguards could still do it, but it's highly unlikely. They'd need a sweep game and another sweep game. They would need the full 8 points in order to put themselves in 6th. And that's if none of the other teams squeeze up as well.
All right, and
sorry, you were
I just noticed that my team played DSQ this week, which is although the point I made about the jokers and the trollers playing this week applies to Viola. They're going to come into there very full of themselves about how they're going to just take down the Jacks. And I think they're prone to making a mistake there, is my theory.
So I agree with you completely. I think Viola Jacks is one of the biggest games of the season. For you guys, especially, Viola are looking imperious. They've won 5 games. They've only drawn 1. They've only lost 1. It's very similar to XP Cubs in prospect. And they've been a lot more favorable results. This entire table is a lot more spread out. But that said, there is only 2 points separating, 3rd and 6th. Sure. Meaning 1 win will propel anybody from 7th upwards. So that's also still huge. 1 game, and that's all you need to stay in contention. Because if you lose twice, you're out of playoffs. It's just that simple, because there is going to be somebody who's going to overtake you.
So I'm thinking, so if Jacks beat DSQ, that would put us on 19. And who are the Jawlers are playing Vanguards.
No, Jawlers are looking good.
That's a shame. But we could, in theory, move up to the goal difference is huge. Jeez, DSQ 31. What is going on there? This is crazy.
Great, but you have also take into account the other direction. Because if you lose by 4, you are still in earshot of us, and we are playing against you. So if we sweep you, then you will be definitely behind us.
Okay, so this is 2 very important weeks coming up for the Jacks. Ender, it's called French chemistry. What is French chemistry, Ender?
I'm actually interested in this now as well.
And are we getting a replacement for Complex? Because that has hurt us bad.
Okay, so let's just preface this quickly. That is a heated issue currently because roster lock was yesterday.
Oh.
So
Right, you
for
are
you
then.
guys,
Okay, moving along.
for you guys to get somebody extra would require a very special dispensation at this point. So that is still to be decided.
Oh, French chemistry. Amiru and I fly away. That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Oh, right. Got you.
The chemistry of the French. Yeah, there we go.
It seems so obvious now.
Yeah, exactly. Now we'll feel stupid for asking the question. Yeah.
But it is looking great for Jawlers currently. They picked up, I think it was Domino from Gelbvier. And that turned their seasons around quite somewhat. You can see the impact he's made in the past. Let me just have a look at the results there. Their last result was against Bro. They beat Bro 4-0. So Color Cold's team, who's sitting in third, they swept them.
Hectic.
So apparently that's what we call a good result, and that's why they're currently in second.
Well, they're both doing very well, those teams, and you would kind of, especially DSQ would be a surprise if they did any worse than they are right now, because they've been doing fantastically all season. Does that wrap up Rivals?
That does indeed.
Let's move on to Elite. That's on week 8. Let's move that to week 7 and look at some results and then see where we are.
This is a much better week in results. Not so many draws.
3-1 was pretty much the standard throughout, except for the Jawlers and the Queens.
The Rollers and the Queens. Don't get it wrong. Put respect on that name.
Well, the Queens and the Rollers had their matchup, and I know Rabbit is in chat, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. Because the Queens the week before kind of threw, because they were ahead and then kind of lost the last two to make it a draw. I'm not sure what happened with Queens and Rollers this week. If it was 1-1-1-1, or if they came back to draw, or they gave away the draw.
Well, it's interesting because Dynasty and Order of Oaks are fighting it out for that second, third position in Rival. They're fighting it out for that 6th, 7th position in Elite. And given the fact that Queens Rollers drew, that is something to look towards the end of the season, because there's nothing separating them at this point. And if you have a look at the games won...
But hold on, Bromeo, just on that point... Queens and Rollers, yeah, I mean, so they're duking it out there, but both of those teams are playing 1 and 2 this coming week.
Oh wow!
Queens are playing Cubs. I beg your pardon, Prowlers, and Rollers are playing Ostrom. So,
those are both huge games.
Huge games.
That's season defining right there, because. Basically 1-2 going against 6 and 7 respectively. So I couldn't even call these. Ostrom has lost twice, Prowlers have lost once, and what's even more interesting is that Queens have lost once, Rollers have lost twice. They've both lost the same amount of games. Except 1 and 2, 6 and 7. That's how tight it is, because Rollers on 14 points with 2 sweeps could put themselves in first. That's how tight the season is. It has been at the expense of some teams, and it's worth noting that Centurion season is over at this point. They cannot reach 6th position even with 2 sweeps. Montbéliard also. It would be fair to say that they cannot reach 6th position, so their season has unfortunately not been the greatest. So Voodoo is not going to be chuffed. I know Friday's been going through everything. I've seen the 7 stages of grief with Friday this season, and
this has been rough.
And it's been a very, very interesting one. And this is just an observation, but every time an EU GM comes to SSA, one of them has an absolutely torrid season. And last season was Season of the Shadow with the Master Team. We don't want to talk about that. That's between us and our therapists. But this season, Friday is getting the absolute worst luck. And which is interesting because this is the first time we've seen some clearly defined non-contenders. And this is Elite. So this is one of the closest seasons we have ever had.
Yes.
At week 8, we could only rule out one person realistically, not even mathematically, in Rival. Everybody in Prospect can still make it to 6th mathematically.
Yes.
There's only 2 in Elite who are completely out at this point mathematically.
Yeah, 3.
Swift can't make it in either.
No, because Queens beat them. So even if they tie, it doesn't.
Okay. There we go.
3.
So
that's brutal.
That is brutal indeed.
So basically, it's Queens and Rawlers right now are battling for never mind a play-in position. It's to not be eliminated. Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, but anyway.
Yeah.
But we've got Mnoto in chat, and he's saying, "Bromeo, do you regret selling me?" And we drafted Mnoto, and for just some reason, I think it was just we couldn't afford to keep him. We had to trade him out, and he went to XP. And if you see where he is sitting currently right now, he's looking down on us and going, "Ha! You guys thought you were good."
But Shadow in 3rd place, Matt.
Yes. We also it is that, and we still go only. We have one team from one of the bottom half, I think, which is, let me just double check, Swift. And we have Prototype. So we have the advantage that we can actually play against one of the already not qualifying teams. And then we're also playing against a direct competitor, which, let's be realistic here, is basically everyone above 7th and above.
But another huge, I mean, there are some big games coming up this week, and Prototype Darkness is massive. I mean, you're locked at 18 points, winner there. I mean, the draw is almost a worse result there, because it's like, nothing really changes. But either team winning there, massive.
Well, even a draw would push them to 20 points. And that means that if Prowlers and Ostrom lose against Queens and Rawlers, I think that's what we were talking. Was that a rival game? No. We're still here, so we're correct. Yes. So a loss by both of those teams would put Darkness ahead, and it would put everybody up, and both Prowlers and Ostrom would lose 1st and 2nd if they lost.
Oh my!
Because it is that close.
Yeah.
Oh my! That is squeaky.
Yep, and then we have the advantage still playing Swift, so we have a likely win there at the very least. Can't underestimate them, but it's likely.
You heard it here first. When Mutt says you're free, that means there must be some statistical proof behind it.
Also, we with RSC now finished, we also have more motivation. Especially Dom has now more motivation. He got 3rd in the Challenger playoffs, so he is still due for a win in the draft format here.
Yeah.
And then again, Mnoto pointing out in chat that Prowlers and Ostrom play in the final week. So depending on what goes, that's potentially a huge game.
Mnoto, if your game is not streamed, we will be docking your team points.
Automatic down to fourth place.
Automatic, like down to fourth. You're not even going into playoffs automatically. It has to be streamed in final week, and if it's not, you will hear from our lawyers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, that makes Darkness getting first even more likely.
Oh, wow, that is huge. That is huge because somebody has to lose in that. I don't think the best case scenario, even a draw, because currently if you're looking on goals scored versus, it's identical. So I'm calling it now on stream. It is going to be a draw. Prowlers, Ostrom, draw.
So that then makes the bro Darkness game even more important, because if one of those win, then because 1 and 2 are battling it out in the last week, it's catastrophic for a loser there.
Mats is busy saying that he can take first and you wouldn't even see it coming. That is what he is saying.
Oh my word, that is absolutely possible.
I mean, it's the same situation for Prototype. They're also playing Centurions in the last week, so basically the winner of our game has the best chances to overtake Brawlers and Ostrom.
So this is actually probably one of the most intriguing tiers. Well, certainly so far, we've got the most number of eliminations already, and then but the permutations at the top are unreal.
Well, I mean, Delta Force is playing Centurions, so they're gonna get 4 points. Sorry, Friday. Unless I know that there's been a rebuild, so there could be a turnaround. But Delta Force getting 4 points would also put them above Prowlers and Ostrom. So that is how tight Elite is. This is the most contested tier, and it's guys, keep a look on this database because you're going to see some wild things. Take a screenshot of where things are sitting now, so that next week when we compare them side by side, you won't believe what you'll see because it is so close.
Now, Ford Highlight saying, who got their first loss? Bro got their first loss. Where? Oh, there against Delta Force. Okay, I see that now.
Yeah, that's wild, actually. Yeah. So Delta Force dishing Prototype their first loss because they were currently 3-3-0 before that. And that's massive. Yeah. So I'm not sure what that says for your boys, Mutts, but Bro are looking quite vulnerable at this point, having dropped their first game of the season.
I think that
it is definitely a good chance now.
The last 2 weeks are going to be chaos.
It's going to be wild.
So keep an eye there. The most fun so far happening in Elite. Now let's move to Master. I guess we'll start. Let's go to the week 7 results.
And one last thing I want to say about the Elite.
Yeah.
With it being this close, I don't know if 100% sure if Ostrom or Prowlers, if they get swept twice, maybe make it through. That is the other question.
Oh, just look at how tight this.
Have
you seen this before? Look at this table.
I mean, that would be bizarre for 1 and 2 to land up not even play-ins by the end. In the last 2 weeks would be sensationally crazy.
This is huge, and Friday is at least heartened to see that Sovereigns are in 4th currently, and carrying the hopes and dreams of an embattled sheet maker.
Yeah.
I mean, we sit here looking at the sheet that Friday made.
Yes.
Hey, this sheet is mine. I have to correct.
Is this your one now? Is this your one now? Okay.
Yeah, front end is my side. Friday does all the backend stuff.
So all of the cool graphics you see, this is Mutts. All of the cool code that brings all of the info in, that is Friday. So this is also such a tight table currently because you'll know this from experience, GB, is that Master had throwaway teams and they had highly competitive teams. It was the tier that generally had the biggest gap between first and last, because there were some teams that just gelled, and then there were teams that just didn't. And again, there is only 10 points separating first and last. 10 points.
So no one mathematically out being eliminated.
Nobody.
Up for elimination.
For example, if Devourers, they're currently in 10th, they put in a win. They are put in a sweep. They are in 6th.
Yeah. Who are they? Oh, how come? Oh, their next team isn't up there. I don't know who they're playing.
It's because they will be playing Velocity next.
Okay.
But I'm just having words with Devar and Douglas in a dispute currently because they didn't get their game scheduled in time, so they're in the naughty corner.
But if either of you are in chat, give us a description of the view in the corner.
If they are honestly in chat, I would be surprised because they're not even in the Discord by the seams of it. So, I would be deeply surprised if any of them are here tonight.
Okay.
But yes, so that game is yet to be scheduled. But it looks like it will be later in the week.
Got you.
But honestly, I'm just looking at this master table currently, and given the results, we had a couple more 3-1s, we had a draw, and 3-1 also looks like it was the favored result this week. Mutz's team going against Professors and smacking them 3-1. Ballers posting their first win of the season against Devourers, which I'm pretty sure Werty and his Chargers will be chuffed about. And King's Alpha Force, first versus third. That was a draw. And Merim versus Velocity. Merim took the dub there 3-1. And Nguni versus Sovereigns, which is 7 and 4th. Sovereigns posted the win there. So this table, if you have a look at it quickly, everybody is still mathematically in. Just not even by an order of 2 games, by an order of 1 game.
Look at 1 and 2 though. I mean, it is that those records are identical except for King's superior goal difference, which is quite substantial.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is just ridiculous.
But there's also 1 point separating them between third. And 3 points separating them from fourth. And so on and so forth. So if Alpha Force or Sovereigns post a dub in the next week and either Merim or Kings doesn't, both of them are off. That's as simple as it is. So it must be nice to be high and mighty in first and second, but make no mistake, if either of you guys lose once, you're out of first and second.
Yo, Aina.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. So,
and I know one of these games we've got on stream this week. Oh, we've got Shadows, we've got Abyss and Ballers, Abyss and Ballers on stream on Thursday.
Oh, the pressure, Werty. You know, we were going to have a chat.
And there's no easy games for. I mean, this is the one tier where Fort Templar are doing okay. Mm-hmm. So not an easy game. Merim against Nguni. And Nguni have been doing the last couple of weeks. They've had a good couple of weeks. They're sort of a team feel like a little bit on a comeback trail.
Do you know what's amazing? If Nguni post only draws until the end and Professors lose, they will be Nguni will be able to make play-ins without having won a game.
That is crazy. Madness, absolute madness.
So yeah, this is a very weird looking table currently, and the possible permutations are huge because anybody is still in it, and that's the way I like it because this is the first season ever when nobody is out by the second last week.
Yes, amazing stuff.
And I think that's massive.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's week 8, already underway, being played out this week. And by this time next Monday, we are going to have a much better picture, a very clear picture of what the likely outcome is. It's going to, so whatever games you've got scheduled this week, you got to bring your game face and your A game to the pitch because it all matters a lot going from here. And I think we're ready to get on to the players of the week.
Sure, why not? Let's talk about the boys who did incredibly well this week.
So I think Bromeo, you can take us through prospect and rival, and then Mats, I'm going to ask you to take us through elite and master. So we'll get things kicked off with prospect players of the week.
Ooh, as we saw last week, Clerks cleared of. He was checked on because he's been doing so damn well that we had to go wait. Is this dude actually a prospect? Turns out he is. He is human, like the rest of us. He isn't a superscripted AI. His name is Clerks, and he is dominating the Prospect League, finishing with the most points per game and the most goals per game, once again, averaging 3.25 goals per game. That is massive.
And we teamed up this week. We had we went out and played some ranked twos, and it was a successful outing. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get him as a regular teammate.
Because make no mistake, Clerks next season will be one of those players who starts moving up the ranks. So he will be dominating in rival next season if he doesn't grind, because then he could possibly skip a tier into elite. He has that much potential. And so big ups to Clever Rabbit and S Falcon for giving them coaching, because the improvement that we've seen from him this season has been massive. But obviously a massive shout out to his teammates as well, because Dogman is currently, I think, leading assists in the prospect division. So it's very easy to look at this man's goals per game, but Dogman is never far behind to give him the assists. So I think that's just, a story of really good chemistry coming out in a season. So Clerks doing really, really well. Shooting percentage, ZZ Puppy for Bro, doing absolutely great. Playmaker assist per game. A DSF Kai posting 1.5 assists per game in the last week. And ZZ Puppy again getting 3.25 saves per game. And there always is that one game a week where somebody made a stupid amount of saves. And even me at 2.5, and I was saving all day this week, didn't even come close to what Puppy was putting through. So well done to him.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, and then we did miss out the franchise standings, so we will circle back to franchise standings. So don't panic, Flosi. I wonder why he's so keen to see the franchise standings.
It's just so that he can sit and smile at his PC, so that he can have a look at Dynasty. Dynasty on top. Dynasty.
All right.
Sorry.
Next up, rival players of the week.
So coming on that drubbing that Order of Oaks put on, bro. Mr. Green coming through with the most points per game last week and finishing on 1.75 goals per game. And what's really interesting is Domino, also of Order of Oaks, in second. So you can see that they were linking up quite strongly. And Color Cold coming in with assists, 1 per game. So that looks like it was a tie, and we see Hannibal here featuring on the list in Playmaker as well. He was the third man for Order of Oaks, promoted from Prospect, now sitting in Rival and dominating his former franchise. So there's always drama there, and that's really, really cool to see. The French chemistry and I Fly Aware for DSQ, saving 2.25 a game, and obviously shooting percentage, Akrapovic with a 66.67% rate of getting into the goal. So he could have shot 3 times and got 2. So good for him.
Good man. All right. Well done to our main players of the week, Mr. Green, Akrapovic, Color Cold, and I Fly Aware. And now, Muchuk, take us through the elite players of the week.
So yeah, the elite players of the week, we are starting out as MVP was Terrible this week with a staggering 605 points per game, which is insane.
It is crazy.
Same with Mercury and Monoto, also over 500 points per game. They all three put in a shift.
And I only discovered like 2 days ago that Terrible, who is also Czar, but was also Agent 57. I didn't know that. And Agent 57 was a player I particularly hated. So it came as a bit of a shock that it was the same person. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Oh man, he comes under many pseudonyms, many nom de plumes. But he is such a good player, and it's good to see him featuring here.
Yo, Rabbit saying that Czar, Terrible, made 7 saves in game 1 and 8 in game 2. That is crazy.
He must have obviously, not had to do too much saving to bring down those saves per game in game 3 and game 4.
Yeah.
Because sitting at 2.75, it means that he didn't do much saving in those last games.
Yeah. Games 3 and 4, not so many. Yeah. All right, much. Oh, back to you.
Yeah, now we have gone over the savior of this week. Now we go to the offense with H in the new For Templar roster, putting in extremely good offense. They still lost to Ostrom, however, with a 3-1. It's not really that bad of a result, considering the issues they had. And then we also have Mercury already on the MVP ratings as second, and Arts as third on the finisher. And the shooting percentage, Fyro still 50%, so every second shot went in, which is really, really, really good. And Mercury also sitting in third here. And the person that has given us the most assists this week, or has given his teammates the most assists, is Silent Oscar 4.
Silent Oscar, I think is
Silent Oscar.
Yeah, don't be confused by the 4. You know how it goes.
Yeah, true.
So here's my call out of Elite. Mercury, Noto, and there was one other that I saw. A Ford Hilux. I think those 3 players we will see in Master next season of RSC.
Yeah, Mercury's been doing so damn well this season. He's been mercurial, you might say. Sorry.
No, listen. It's bad, but it's good enough. We'll let it ride.
Thank you. I didn't have to approach for a sidebar on that one. But also, Mnoto, fantastic breakout season. I would be very surprised not to see him in Master, given how determined he was. And I think you did a feature on him as well. So if you don't know who Mnoto is, I'm sure on Greybeard's YouTube channel somewhere, there's a nice little video there that you can watch. But
Star of the future.
Star of the future. So very well played to him as well.
And then moving on to Master Tier.
And in Master Tier, we have more For Templar players. Daps putting in the biggest performance with over 530 points per game. Banana Cat in second, and Elijah Kim as third here. Our best finisher this week is Teacher with 2.25 goals per game. Over 2 goals per game is really, really high.
It's huge.
Let's see. Yeah, Devourers did not do that good of a job defending, although Banana Cat had the most saves per game, nearly 4 per game. This was a one-sided pressure.
That is huge. I mean, in any game, if I have a look at the savior stat, if anybody posts more than 3 saves a game, I can almost bet you that they did not win that game. Because being forced to make that many saves is unreal. So, I also, again, love to see Kexi here. Honestly, and again, for those of you who don't know, he is an RLCS player for Trifecta, which turned into two-thirds rule. He was the EU contingent. So massive props to him coming and playing in our league. And I love to see Teacher's name here because he's been flying under the radar a bit this season. But it's always nice to have a reminder that players like him are also still here.
And then a shout out to Jerome Moment, who at least one person who came out of the Mythic thing a winner. He, in one of the giveaways, won the Red Dragon headset. So hey, at least came away with something. So well done to Jerome.
But GB, once we're done with this, I just want to go through stats, the stats leaderboard for season 3, for a very good reason, because I've got the season 2 stats with me right now, and season 2 is the first one we can compare against because we've got 9 weeks that were played.
Yes. So that's the league data, not league.
Stats
league.
database.
Stats database. There it is.
Don't worry, Flossy. We will show DSQ's picture soon. I promise.
Your moment in the sun is just half a cloud away. Okay, so then I need to do that and do that. There we go. Where do
All
you
right,
want to
go
go?
straight to leaderboards. Straight to leaderboards.
Bang.
Okay, so this is very, very interesting because I've got season 2 stats in front of me right now, and this is overall. So this is Clerks is leading from prospect as the leading goal scorer, and
is that across all tiers?
Across all tiers.
Holy.
You see how much of a difference he's making because he is 20 goals ahead of the person in second place who's in Mnoto. So this is the point I wanted to try to make, is that during league play, Bigfoot took the glory last season for the most goals in league play, and that was 54.
Oh my word.
So Clerks is already the leading goal scorer in league play of all time. And with 2 weeks to go. Yeah. So this is going to be a difficult one to make. Most assists. And this is going to be a very interesting stat. Currently, Friction is on 37 assists.
27.
Oh, no. I'm looking at last season. So I just gave away the joke. So Friction currently is on 27 assists. Last season, through league play, he got 37 assists, leading it. So once again, Friction is in the lead to take the most assists in the entire league. He's leading it every single season, which for any of you RLCS fundies is a very important stat. So I think that's really, really cool. The top 5 in season 2 were Friction, Clever Rabbit, Shadowhunter, Daps, and Joker. And the only person still there is Friction.
Wow.
So that's pretty huge. Most saves, and you hear his name called out pretty frequently in the intro for RSC 3. But this season, currently, it's wrecked with 51 saves. In order to beat the league record, you have to beat Kilogram's record of 70 saves during league play.
Speaking, where is Kilogram? How come he's not here this season?
I don't know.
Where's Kilogram? Anybody in chat who knows Kilogram, go and find him. I haven't heard or seen of him for months. We need to get him back.
And just so you know, Kilogram, Tim Tam, Yoshi, Strutic, and Klipski were in the top 5. And I think none of them are still in overall tops. So that depends on the team you're on, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And then the last stat that really matters is demos. So let's just go and have a look there.
And I'm not featuring at all. This is such a failure on my part. I'm so ashamed.
Yeah, Graveyard, you spoke such a big game.
I know. I really...
Okay, so currently the most demos, which is me, surprisingly.
Holy moly, what?
I've put in 78 demos this season. However, if I want to beat the league play record for demos, I have to get another 74 demos.
Oh, get out.
Because Olympic last season got 151 demos.
All right.
In
clearly,
league
clearly he's slacking this season with his paltry 66. But that's absolute madness. I mean, that
is absolutely wild. I mean, Mutz will remember very, clearly why that is the case, is because Olympic put in 57 demos in one series, and so it would have meant that he would have sat around maybe 110.
That's like 28% of his entire season demo count in one series.
In one series. So Sparky Cracked was the captain of that game. He will tell you with great trauma that it was not a very good day. But last season, the top 5 for the most demos were Olympic, myself, the Joker, Solar Rage, and Zany. So you don't see Solar Rage. I don't see this season.
I haven't seen him this season, and he was at Comic-Con. So again, chat, get hold of Solar Rage. Tell him he needs to be in RSC next season.
But I'm glad to see that Olympic has humbled himself to acknowledge that I'm just better at demoing. And there are 2 games left, Olympic, and with me 12 ahead, you got some work to do.
You would think, though, with all those demos, Bromeo, that
my team would do better.
The Trollers would be scoring more goals and winning more games. Unless they're 2v3, because you're just driving around looking for demos.
Do you know, I wish that was the case. But no, we're just a bad team.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Are we ready to go and have a look at franchise standings?
Are we ready to make Pelosi happy? I think we should.
Or should we delay it to after the next segment?
So, how was your day, Greybeard?
Yeah. All right, let's have a look at the franchise standings after week 7. Dynasty is in second place.
Critical Force in third.
Critical Force in third. XP in fourth. Bro in fifth. Shadow, Mutz. Shadow in 6th. Where are you going to finish, Mutz?
I hope top 5. I think we can definitely overtake Bro. Other than that, I think we will focus more on postseason results and take it in the knockouts.
Yeah, how do you focus on postseason results?
Post-league play.
Playoffs.
That's a very weird way to say playoffs.
Yep. I don't know how that connection went.
But that does seem like a very realistic goal, given the fact that 3rd and 6th place are separated by 10 points. No, 8 points. 6 points. 6 points. 8.
Yeah,
my maths is terrible.
8 for 3rd, yeah.
8 points. So that is, 8 points across 4 games. Because remember, that's an aggregate of every single tier. So that's absolutely nothing. So if one of the higher teams have a bad week, you can shift from 6th to 2nd or to 3rd in no time at all.
Yeah. So
that's really, really good to see. It is sad to see for Templar at the bottom with 36. They are unfortunately much maligned, as well as Redirect. Redirect hasn't had a good season yet, I don't think.
No.
If you're listening, which I don't think you are, because you're not listening to my DMs either. But it's difficult to see. Hazard's got a bit of soul searching to do, because he can put a great production together, but he can't put a good season together.
Hey,
but Sorry, I'm being spicy today. It's mainly because Order of Oaks is languishing in 7th. We were aiming for a middle of the table finish because, we're all about the vibes. But then, kids get competitive and they say, we like vibes, but we also like winning.
We like winning better.
We like winning better. So I love to see Shadow Esports performing. Sad to see Unitox not doing as well as they could have this season.
But they have improved, to be fair. After their rough start, they have. But yeah, I mean, Voodoo. I mean, there's some individual good performances in the tiers, but yeah, it could have been worse. But yeah, you won't be overjoyed by that.
And I mean, you also have Montbelliard on 6 wins across 28 matches, so it's like,
rough.
That is a tough one to recover from in the first place.
That's 22 lost points. So that is huge. But what's really weird to note is Bro finished top of franchise last season in season 2. Valkyrie Knights finished in 2nd, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And Bro picked up Kirika, so it was the unholy alliance of Bro and Valkyrie Knights. So 1st and 2nd merged to form a 5th place team. So the maths doesn't make sense, but it is not going as well for Bro community as would have been expected, given the powerhouse of the GM group. But that said, it has been so cool to see that 2 debutantes, Critical Force and XP, brand new franchises created from nothing, currently occupying 3rd and 4th place. So that is really cool to see.
Bruv and Aoki doing good stuff there. That's great. And then we have to mention, Bromeo, that DSQ Esports are number 1 as it stands now.
I would have gone and just said R on the leaderboard somewhere.
So they really have had a good season, and their season continues. But it's worth pointing out here that, the next 2 weeks is going to be all about the table and who gets to play-ins and playoffs. But then it comes down to those playoffs. And how often do we see the number 1 in league struggle massively in the big event of the playoffs?
I think this is it's so weird because we start judging who's going to be the franchise of the season sort of now.
Yes.
Because it's a matter of who finished top on this franchise standings and who claimed the most silverware in playoffs. So it's a great boon to your season if you already start your playoffs having finished top in franchise standings. That's why GMs fight for this, because it's not everything, but it's the best start you can have. And DSQ, Dynasty, and Critical Force, even XP, are looking very, very strong. And DSQ is in the lead, but they are in the lead by 4 points. And
that's very tight.
That's nothing, given the fact that
4 points in a tier isn't that huge. 4 points across all tiers is not a lot.
Because think about it this way. If every single team in your franchise sweeps, that is 16 points on offer to take away in a round. So there are still 32 points that you can possibly gain over the next 2 rounds. 32 points. And we're not going to say that anybody's going to get 8 sweeps in a row, but Mutz likes to say it's not mathematically impossible. It's just highly improbable. And I think that's very important to note, because of the 32 points needed, that you can get from the next 2 games, you just need 4 to take over DSQ. So that's how close it is. And
lots to fight for.
Season 3 is the closest season ever. And I love it. I love it.
The technical word is it's been a banger. Technically speaking, just to bring out the big words. So we have 2 segments left. well, one's not actually a segment, but I thought we would do that now, which is not a lot of people using the old RSC S3 hashtag, but there was kind of something interesting that I thought we'd have a quick look at, which is if you missed it, it's worth going to have a look at. We're not gonna go through it all in great detail here, but Yoshi posted a thread on six mans, and I guess the comeback of six mans, or the rejuvenation of six mans, to make it something productive within the community. A six mans that's working well is very important for our competitive scene. And so yeah, he sort of went through a long thread of what they would like to do, what they're changing about it, where they want to go. And Bromeo, it seems like, I mean, Yoshi's taken a very healthy bite of a large sandwich there. And
it's difficult to say, because this is all, speculation at this point. I read through the tweet, and so far the actions are planning, and he's kicked some people so far. But I would love to see a maturing of six mans, call them six men even. I think that there is huge potential here to possibly reutilize one of our scene's greatest competitive tools, which is six mans. Because when you want to get good at the game, you go play six mans. Everybody knows this, and for some it's unavoidable, as toxic as it's been. Yoshi goes in length to describe that they won't be coddling the pro players anymore. They won't be. They'll be a lot more stricter in moderation. And these are great steps forward. Very difficult to implement, though. In a scene as small as ours, filled with as many, let's just call them strong personalities, Yoshi's task is very difficult. And so I wish him the best of luck. He also did mention that they want to tighten up their entrance processes and, clarify their tiers and possibly link their ranking system to that of RSC's. That's how it had ended up on our feed here. Is that they want to possibly utilize the CMV to give statistical proof that you are the tier that you say that you are, which I think is a good move forward. The community does need to be tighter, and that is a nice step forward to making sure that six mans is accountable for its things. So I don't like six mans. I will be the first man to say that. Is that I founded Bro because I hated six mans. I just wanted to be able to play with players who weren't verbally abusing me every 2 minutes. So I'm so happy that Yoshi is taking on the mantle to do this. I wish him the best of luck. I offer him all of the support that I can, because a healthy competitive scene needs a healthy six mans. And that's about the take that I got on it.
And Yoshi, I mean, we'll be speaking in the next few days, because absolutely, whatever support and help we can give to that effort, we would like to. I certainly would like to get behind it, because it is a really, really important element, and if we can get it on track, it's huge for us going forward. Keeping in mind that the next 3 seasons, 2025, 2026, and 2027, are going to be rough for SSA, globally speaking, because the EU region rule is not going to change, and it is going to be our responsibility to get to the point where, firstly, we can beat EU bubble teams on 180 ping, and then we can compete with them on equal terms, toe-to-toe. So with a lot of EU people playing here, it's quite possible we don't see South African or SSA players at majors or worlds for the next 3 seasons. But with a strong community like RSC, a very strong six mans, local competition through VS and ACGL, high school leagues being top priority and we make superstars out of our high school players, those 4 things over the next 3 seasons can get us to a point of being globally competitive. So yeah, we will be speaking, Yoshi. Good luck in your endeavors. You've not embarked upon an easy road, but we wish you the best of luck. And that will bring us to our final segment, which is the Unity Clip of the Week. Every week, Unity run a clip competition. There's a theme for each week, and you get a clip related to the theme. You submit it in the Unity Discord. The community get to vote on them, and then we show the top 3. The first clip, the number 1 voted clip, wins 150 ZAR. So the theme for the week that just ended was flip resets. And we have 3 clips to show you. Starting with 3rd place. Here we go.
Okay, all right. Absolutely nuts. And flip resets are always the one where you see the absolute, craziest goals, because when you see flip reset goals scored by the pros, they're generally the craziest. And I think this is the mechanic practiced most by freestylers. So can we watch that again? Because that was a pogo into a musty
And what I don't understand, and we've had this a few times, and clearly, obviously this comes down to a vote. So if you happen to have a lot of friends, it does help. But this is 3rd place. The insanity of this clip in 3rd place. Here it is again. And this is Mercury, by the way.
Oh, you see, puts it into a reset, into a pogo, and I think he must use it here.
No, it's absolutely nuts. So
Absolutely
3rd place,
wild.
with that a little bit of insanity, was Mercury. And then not first place.
Second
Number
place.
2. Number 2 is this
Do that to our ball chase.
No, Jerome, you're not getting bumped.
Okay.
I can show you what I mean if you want.
Okay, this is me talking here.
What
Like
are we
Jerome's goal was
doing,
pretty nutty, but I would have put 3rd ahead of 2nd. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I am
For me
inclined
as well.
to agree with you. I mean,
Dude, that's
Jerome,
what
make
ball
no
chase.
mistake. This was
Great
a
goal.
great
Great
piece
goal.
of work.
Getting bumped.
But the pogo here, not very
Okay,
clean.
Jerome.
I can show you what I mean if
Mercury's
you
pogo
want
was a
to.
lot
No,
cleaner,
but not that.
and ending with a
What
flippin'
are we
musty.
doing, though?
Yeah. No, great goal. Great goal.
And then number 1 by a player who brutalized me and my team last Thursday. This is clip number 1. No sound. And
Durability.
It looks like it was a 1v1.
Okay. Do we get a better
Better what?
just a better angle on that one?
No, that's all
First,
we got.
puts it into a musty, then bangs it in off the backboard. And yeah, great goal. Durability was in prospect last season, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm not sure he should be in rival. So there we have the flip reset, the musty, and the double tap. So a great combination there. I think it would have been very, very close between Mercury and that. If we put it to a broader vote. Mats, your thought on 1st and 3rd?
I still think, because there are a lot more individual parts to the shot of Mercury, I think it would slightly edge out that for me.
But Clever Rabbit's actually mentioning something here. That was a no-look double, because that was from his camera perspective. So when he doubled that in, he wasn't looking. And I think that might be the huge part. Like, sure, he must eat it into the back.
How was he not looking?
Because he just looked behind him. You know, your rearview mirror, that's sort of how it works.
Okay, why was he looking behind him?
Because he's trying to trick shot his mate. There's no reason why the camera would do that.
Okay.
I mean, for most of it, he looked at the ball, to be fair.
Yeah. All right, well, Jura, either way, Jura is the winner. He gets the 150.
Jura is the winner, but Mercury has our hearts. Mercury has our hearts.
Yeah.
He turned off ball cam, I think at the end, says Tido. I don't know. Seemed like a dodgy place to turn off your ball cam, but okay.
That's the ultimate flex. It's the no scope.
All right. Well, I think, gentlemen, that will bring us to the end, if I'm not mistaken. Any closing thoughts from you, Mats?
I'm just excited for the next 2 weeks because it's going to be close. It's going to be great. It's going to be heartbreaking for some teams, but we will see some good SSA Rocket League to see how the league play and then go into the meat and potatoes at the end and see who takes home the trophies.
And then, Bromeo, before I come to you for your closing words, people in chat, if there's anyone live that we should be raiding, do let me know. I'm on my immediate list. I don't see anybody, but if there's someone worth, and this is the criteria, first and foremost, preferably SSA. Secondly, Rocket League. Thirdly, if they're not SSA but playing Rocket League, we can raid them. Those are the general parameters we look for in a raid. Bromeo, your closing thoughts.
So there's a couple of things I want to say. I agree with Mutz that these last 2 weeks are going to be massive. This is the closest season of RSC at every single level that we've had yet. And that just means that the scene is maturing a little bit. Our competition is maturing a bit. And it's great because the draft system is working. Because through 9 weeks, through 7 weeks of league play, nearly every single team is still in reach of a playoff position, which means that the draft is working. And it means that franchises aren't doing dumb things with their picks like they did in the first season. Remember Bijou just picking off the top as they went. So they had every single one of their players blew their cap off the roof.
Yeah.
which was wild. Imagine picking like To Die For, Snowy, and Sweaty, and then realizing that you have to field, another player and you have a salary cap. So that was absolutely wild. So the next 2 weeks are absolutely pivotal. Pivotal.
I like it.
Pivotal. Yeah. And there are going to be so many good games to come. There are 2 league streams left. Support them, watch them, because they are important. There are going to be some bangers on there. And obviously, and we haven't hammered on this enough, we are still taking orders for RSC merch. I've just posted the link in chat. If you would like to get yourself a RSC Season 3 t-shirt, all of the proceeds will go back into the league. And most importantly, we're not going to place this order until we've got a minimum amount. And I would love to get a t-shirt. So if you guys don't get one, I can't get one. And
that would be sad.
That would
Very
be sad. So yeah, that's all from me. This is great, and I'm excited heading into the final 2 weeks.
And let's take a moment to remember the absolute drought of Rocket League that existed between RLCS seasons last year. Like nothing was going on. We were like all just sitting. There is so much going on. Every time an event passes, I'm like, thank goodness I can take a moment to breathe. And then there's another thing happening. It's another RSC thing, another competition, we are in a very, very good place. So very pumped about the future. We are going to go and raid a lady named MJ. She is from OCE. It's dawn. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning or something for her. So we're going to go and give her an early morning raid. Tell her how's it. Tell her that RSC SSA sent you, and give her a follow and a big how's it. And what I should have done is had that ready so I could just hit the button, but I didn't do that. But so I'll say it from the top. Go and say hello to MJ. Tell her that we sent you, and give her a follow and encourage her along the way. So from me, Bromeo, Muchuk, peace. We're out.
Peace.
Peace.
Make sure this goes through.
Oh, what the fuck? Thank you for the raid, dude.
My Twitch is bugging, but it looks like the raid went through, so that's good enough.